What's up, guys? Hey, it's Casey Lucas, and we have our mayor with us again today. He's been on our show. This is your third time?
It is.
We've had so many questions about what's going on in the city and with the COVID-19. So today he's here to help us answer some of your guys' questions and kind of go over what the summer looks like for us. Greenwood is such an awesome place to live, and we have so many things planned, and I know people are just like sitting on the edge of their seat waiting to hear, what are we going to be able to do this summer and what does this look like? So let's get to it and tell us about it.
All right. Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Always appreciate you coming on. As we know, COVID-19 has really been something that none of us have ever had to live through, wanted to live through, and hope we never do again.
Amen.
It has caused a huge change in all of our lives. And now as we're starting to come back to some kind of a normalcy, we're stair-stepping everything in, following the governor's regulations and rules on when different things can open. Like our restaurants are opening up this week, finally, with 50% capacity. It's been really hard on a lot of our restaurant owners and vendors, all of our small retail shops, even the large ones. It's been really, really difficult. So, I'm excited that we are starting to open things up, but at the same time, I'm very concerned because a lot of people still aren't taking the precautions that I think they should be by wearing masks, wearing gloves, being careful, and maintaining social distance. But as the city opens up, we are making sure that our staff tries to enforce that as we go forward. So we started opening up some things this week in the city. Our parks have stayed open through all of this, but the playgrounds will stay closed. The tennis courts, the basketball courts, the pickleball courts, they'll all open back up on May 24th.
Okay, so that's good to know. So rewind real fast, because I have the 4-year-old. So I can take her to the park. She just can't get on the equipment.
Exactly. She can go to the park. We encourage people to get out of the house, go to the parks, get on the trails, go golf, do whatever. Just maintain your social distance, and yes, stay off the playground equipment, all those things, because that's where all the germs are being transmitted or could be transmitted, is by the touching of all those things.
Mm-hmm. As far as the restaurants and things like that, you said that they're reopening with 50%.
Correct.
What kind of guidelines do you know anything about what kind of guidelines they're to have within their restaurants to make sure that they're following the governor's orders?
Yeah, the governor sent out a list to the restaurants, and I know that some of the local restaurateurs I've been talking to are training their employees. All of their servers, all of their bus people have to wear masks. The people that bus the tables can't be the ones that serve the tables because you don't want that They're wanting to make sure no more than 6 people are able to sit at one table. They have to maintain the social distance between the tables and the chairs themselves.
That was my next question, because I'm like, if I go in with you to eat dinner, right?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know how that would work because we would not be socially distancing, right? We would be able to sit at the same booth, but it would be the other tables that they're distancing. So you can go in with a group of maybe 4 and sit together.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good to know. Yeah, that one was like tricky. Now what about bars? Are bars and are bars considered restaurants, or
No.
what's going on there?
Bars that are just plain bars can't open up. I believe it's until the 24th as well. Restaurants that have bars cannot use the bar seating around the bar itself. You can sit in the bar area, but you can't sit at the bar itself because it's really hard. There's not 6 feet in between you and the server. There's not 6 feet between you and the person right next to you.
On another note, I would just kind of want to pick your brain on this. How do you feel like we've done as a state through a pandemic like this and doing what we need to do? Because I know you get your orders handed down from the governor, right? And I think that confuses some people because Marion County has some, they're still closed down, right?
Right.
But Johnson County isn't, and maybe Hamilton isn't. So I think that that's where things get lost in translation, that maybe it can be different per county. But anyways, how do you think that we're doing, and how do they figure and balance that out?
So, the governor has given the mayors the ultimate authority. We can enforce it longer than what the governor has requested. We can't do it shorter, but we can do it longer, which we did the first time coming out, and we are with our parks and with some other things that are coming out. We're extending that a little bit further. For example, the city offices, they could be open back up, but we're not opening our offices back up until June 1st. We have staff back in, but we're not allowing the public back in. When it comes to the restaurants and other things, what I look at are the numbers that are put out every day by the county health department and by the state, and I monitor those daily. There was an article that came out in the newspaper last week, which had the number of deaths that we've had in the county, but the number of deaths we've had is very skewed. And it's skewed because we have 2 nursing homes who have opened up their doors to the COVID-19 patients, saying that they would take those patients in and treat them. And there have been a higher percentage of deaths due to the COVID-19, but they are in those certain areas that are cordoned off. So you take those numbers, you withdraw those from the general population, and our numbers are pretty low. Okay. Which tells me in the end, Johnson County is doing a good job. The people in our county are doing a good job of trying to social distance, stay inside. And you can just tell from the traffic that was out, the lack of traffic, that people are taking it serious and staying home.
Yeah, I mean, we're located right here in the heart of Old Town, and during this time period, traffic was so slow compared to what we were used to. It was kind of like a ghost town.
Yeah, it was like, Sunday morning in Greenwood, every day.
I do think a lot of people are worried about the economy.
Yes.
And what's to come. Do you have any thoughts on that or feelings as far as where you think we're going and how we're going to do?
Yeah, just looking at some of the numbers that have come out lately, our last tax draw was there was a 20% reduction in it. But when we look at vehicle gas tax is down quite a bit throughout the state. Income tax is obviously much lower than it normally is. Sales tax is way down from what it was. Food and beverage tax is way down from what we were proposing or thinking it was going to be. So the tax situation, which is what we live off of to run the city, is down. On the bright side, if you can try to make a bright side of this, 8 years ago when I got in office, I hired a controller who's a brilliant young man, and he came to me and he said, Mayor, you need to think of the future and what's going to happen to this city, and in each one of our different budgets, you need to put in a 25% buffer that'll get you through 3 months. And so our budget has been built on that and has that or exceeds that amount in each budget so that we're fine. The city of Greenwood financially is fine.
I love that. I mean, even in life, we're taught to do that, right? Like personally with our own households, to not just try to live paycheck to paycheck in case there's an emergency, right?
Right.
So that's good to know. That's good. What do we have as far as what's being canceled? Because we know that you've turned this place into a fun place to be and live, and there's so many activities to do. What do we not get to do, and what do we still get to do this summer?
So the biggest and the worst and the saddest is the Freedom Festival has been canceled this year.
Which, how many people attend the Freedom Fest?
50 to 60,000 people.
Yeah, ouch.
And it's really hard for the public to understand. It's I've gotten a lot of emails. Why can't you put it another date? Why won't you look at rescheduling? We looked at all those things in advance. We talked to the vendors because we have over 150 vendors for Freedom Festival. And to try to get 150 people to reschedule for another day yet this year is impossible.
Sure.
And you've got the bands, the food, the arts, everything that's included in that, and to try to get them to all reschedule on another day was just impossible to do. So we canceled it. We're going to try to make a Rock the Clock event in September down here on the corner of Main and Madison, a bigger and better event, and try to get more people in for that, to try to make up for that and bring people back.
I'll vouch for that one. I went to the Rock the Clock the past couple years, and each year it gets better. It's right down here in front of the city building on the corner of Madison and Main. And bands, music, food, games. It's a blast.
It is. It's a really good time, and it's grown every year, and we're just hoping to continue to grow that.
Yeah. So what else we got? Wham Fest?
Wham Fest is still a go in August. That'll be fine. The governor's pushed, all of this is based not on what we want, but on what the governor's office comes from. You can't have that big of a crowd until after July 4th.
Okay.
Well, Freedom Festival was in May, so we can't have that crowd.
And honestly, to be responsible, that's probably a little too soon.
It is. I was very concerned about it. I'm still concerned about July 4th being that date. Just seeing how the numbers, we have not started the big decline, drop off yet that was projected to happen. And so I'm comfortable with not having those things because I want to protect the citizens of Greenwood.
Amen. We appreciate that. There's been something that I think I've learned through this process. When we first went on shutdown, I go a lot and I do a lot of things. Whether it be work or the kids and this and that. I think you can always find a bright side to something, right? And so I've had to think through that, and I've had so much time with my family. And my oldest they're getting ready to go off to college, and we played games that I never thought they'd play with me, and the bonding experience that a lot of us got with our families. I mean, it really isn't that what life is about. It's about family and love. So even in the most trying times, you have each other. So I think that's, while all the sadness is happening, I try to look at the positives. And have you seen a lot of that?
Oh yes. I live right on one of the main trails that runs through the city, and the number of families that we have seen get on the trails, taking walks together, riding bikes together, has literally quadrupled in front of my house. And it's really nice to see them out having a good time, having fun, but getting out of the house and enjoying family again.
And the outside.
Yes.
Right? Oh, I didn't even know we had all these kids in our neighborhood until this.
Yeah.
I'm like, who's this family? Who's this family? We have new friends now. And that's really exciting. All right, so let's talk about the pool, the aquatic center, and what's going on with that, and how's all that going to work?
So Freedom Springs Aquatic Center is going to open up June 15th. It's going to open up at half capacity, and that way we can try to maintain the social distancing that way. We're going to take up half of the lounge chairs and things. Again, keep crowds up to 6 in a party that are together. The one good thing about it people don't think about is the chlorine in the pool will kill the bacteria. So
that's good.
Go in, jump in first, kill all your germs. And so that helps, but we want to maintain the social distancing, but we want to make sure that we have things for people to do. The playgrounds, the parks, the tennis ball courts, pickleball, all those open up May 24th. Again, people, even though they're opening, they need to maintain their social distancing while you're doing it. And just be careful and cautious.
All right, so another thing that we all love to do is Mud Day. Everybody likes to get dirty. What's going on with that?
People are not going to get dirty this year.
Oh,
Mud Day's been
man.
canceled.
No.
Can't have that many people in the crowd.
Yeah, that'd be kind of gross.
Yeah.
Germs
and
mud. Lots of mud.
Not a good thing.
No. All right, so we all love music. Summer concert series.
Summer concert series will go on. It's being pushed back till July the 11th. We're going to try to talk to some of the bands to see if they can pick up after the normal series runs out so that we can continue it on throughout the summer and into the early fall as long as the weather's permitting.
I think you guys should have a karaoke night.
I think we should too.
Uh-huh.
And it should star you.
And you.
No way.
We didn't do a duet.
There's no shower. I don't sing unless there's a shower. It's embarrassing.
No, too funny. Well, yeah, we'll just keep it to ourselves in our bathrooms. So now what about the community center? How's that going to work?
So the community center opens up May 24th. It opens up to members only. No more than 100 members inside of the building at a time. Okay. And the machines, some of them will be taped off so that we can maintain the social distancing in between each one of the machines. There's extra hand sanitizer, there's extra wipes, there's extra bleach in a bottle to spray to kill the germs. We want to make sure that the people are cleaning up after themselves, and then also our staff will be there to clean the equipment throughout the day and night.
So there'll be stuff for us to clean up with, and then you guys will also clean again.
Yes.
I love it. Well, this is like awesome having you back every time. It gets better, you know? You look really good.
Thank you.
I mean, healthy.
Got a haircut?
Oh my gosh, I do have to say, I did talk to him the other day, and he was going through that whole thing where nobody got to cut their hair. And do you have a picture of that?
No.
He does. I'll see if I can get it for you guys.
You won't.
But anyways, he had double amount of that hair going on the other day. So we just had a haircut, right?
Oh, it was triple. It was horrible. It was like my high school days.
Yeah, it was interesting. Like I was FaceTiming him, and I was having a conversation with his hair. Like I was just like looking at it. Now who's your barber?
Tim.
Good job, Tim. Good job. You're a new man.
I feel like a new man, I tell you what.
All right, so you have anything else to add before we go?
Just, people still just need to continue to practice the social distancing, practice being safe while you're out. Please continue to wear masks. If you don't, please think about it and do it. And, we want people to get healthy, happy. We want them to be back in the restaurants. We want to support our local vendors. We want the economy to kick off again and people to get back out again, but to do it safely and to be more cautious as we go.
I love it. Well, you know what time it is?
It's time for me to leave.
No, it's time for me to beat you.
Uh-oh.
Rock, scissors, papers, let's go.
Oh, here we go again.
All right. I always win. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Did I win? All right, guys, thanks for joining us. If you have any questions that you want our mayor to answer, go ahead and just leave us a comment or give us a call, and we'll be happy to get back with you about any of those questions that you have. I'm Casey Lucas, and this is The Spotlight with Mark Myers.